Quite an innocuous picture, this, isn't it? Just looks like an old fella who's never held a shotgun before in his life. Well, it would be innocuous if the UK was a serious nation but hadn't been captured by raving lunatics, but turns out this isn't an innocuous picture at all. From the Daily Telegraph, IT consultant arrested after posing with gun on LinkedIn. John Richelieu Booth says he was put through 13 weeks of hell after returning from a US holiday. There was actually two good stories I could have covered today. This is just one of them. The other one was about a bloke who was arrested for having a right-wing music collection. It's genuinely preposterous. You can't even listen to Screwdriver these days in your own bedroom. Anyway, I went with this one because this is the funnier. It's just a portly middle-aged IT guy taking a photo on his holidays, and he gets nicked as soon as he lands in the UK. It's definitely not looking good for me next trip home, is it? No. I'll be manacled to a wall with a bin liner over my head and a set of electrodes wired to my conkers. Faster than you can say, welcome to London. Okay, brilliant. The UK is a sick joke of a country at this point, isn't it? It's mad because they think we're being hyperbolic when we talk about it being authoritarian, fascistic, Stalin-esque. None of this is hyperbole when we can just physically show people hundreds of stories, possibly thousands, because we're arresting 12,000 people a year at this point, right? Let's give them the benefit of the doubt and assume that at least, let's say, half of them could possibly have merit. Yeah? I mean, I'm probably being far too generous there, but obviously none of us think you should be able to physically threaten to murder people. Right, that's like the only caveat with freedom of speech. Anyone sensible and reasonable says, yeah, okay, you shouldn't be threatening people like genuinely serious threats to hurt people. That should still be illegal. So let's say of the 12,000 people a year that get arrested, 6,000 of them are actually reasonable. But the rest of them is stuff like this, or people with music collections that Keir Starmer doesn't like very much, or anyone anywhere like Jamie Michael, my old Bootneck pal from 4-2 Commando, who get nicked for merely politely expressing an opinion that a screaming left-wing socialist psychopath mildly disagrees with. We are where we are. He probably upset a local Labour councillor because he voted for Boris Johnson or something, and therefore he's a one-bollock dictator. So we are where we are. Let's read the story. John Richelieu Booth says he was put through 13 weeks of hell for a holiday snap. Marvellous. 1,488 comments on here though, so I'm going to enjoy reading them. That's my favourite part of the Telegraph's website. The based, angry pensioners that subscribe to the Telegraph. So this is only 3 days ago. An IT consultant was arrested by police in Britain after he posted a picture online of himself posing with a shotgun. Mr. Booth said he was shocked by the Orwellian decision by West Yorkshire Police to prosecute him over the social media post. Literally that picture, just on a ranch in Florida, on his holiday. It's unbelievable. He said the LinkedIn message contained nothing he considered threatening, with a picture of a post about his day and work activities. However, he said that a police officer visited his home to warn him that concerns had been raised about the post. I was told to be careful what I say online, and I need to understand how it makes people feel. Oh, yeah, the literal definition of the thought police. You can't post anything if you don't think about how it might make perfect strangers feel on a whim. Marvellous. He said he offered to provide officers with proof the picture had been taken while he was in the US, but the officer said it's not necessary because it's the thought crimes they're interested in. He then said 2 more officers returned to his home later after 10 p.m. and arrested him. So again, spiteful, malevolent, process is the punishment, needless annoyance. Why didn't he arrest him on the same day? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because going back to your house 8 hours later after 10 o'clock at night and pulling you out of bed and marching you off to the police station is exactly the type of thing the Gestapo would do. So it's to instill fear in your neighbours and your friends and generally be a gigantic pain up your arse. That's why they did it. Twice in one day, after 10 o'clock at night. He was held in a cell overnight before being interviewed. Then he was released on bail. Then weeks later, on multiple occasions, police officers visit his property 3 times. So that's 5 police visits so far. And then he was rearrested for allegedly breaching bail conditions, and then the charge was dropped. Oh, really? He also said he was unable to work because obviously they stole his laptop and his phone. Again, that's what they do. The process is the punishment. He described the ordeal as massive overreach. Anybody should be allowed to say anything they wish as long as it's not hateful. Well, I'll stop you there, Mr. Booth. That is exactly the type of thing a scalloping fascist had come out with, isn't it? Yeah. Type of thing people like Terry Pratchett or Douglas Adams, like milquetoast comedy writers, would say things like that. So guess what? That's against the state's machinations, isn't it? He continued, when did we go from a society where you can have a discussion with somebody and go, you know what? I don't like your opinion. I'm going to disagree with you, but I won't tell you why. I'll just call the police. I've always believed in truth and justice and stood up for the police and believe they're doing an important job of keeping order. Now I have no faith in them. And as well, you might not, Mr. Booth, because at the end of the day, it's not hyperbole, is it? It's not. None of us online commentators or you don't see them on the BBC, but, GB News maybe. People talking about these issues, thousands of them, where people get treated like terrorists by an overbearing, authoritarian, tyrannical state. This isn't rare. And yes, to echo his sentiments, I used to be very pro-police. I even drew, it's on my web store, a piece of pro-police officer merchandise, did I not? Support proper coppers? Well, definitely don't agree with that anymore, do I? I don't support the British state, civil service, police officers, or politicians, or councillors. I don't even support the bin men at this point, because they'll probably only hire you if you've got the right political opinions. The UK is a total joke. The process is the punishment, and this authoritarian fascist Gestapo shit is going to keep on continuing until tens of millions of people wake up to what's going on and get very, very, very angry about it. The MPs should be getting pilloried at the town halls now, unendingly, by an angry public who don't want to be locked up for politely disagreeing with extremists on the left. It's mad, isn't it? There was a document published by the British Army saying, here's all the warning signs about people that might be far right. And it was boring stuff like describes themselves as patriotic. It's really weird, isn't it, that they can be as far left as you can possibly go. Out communists, like Ash Sarkar, go on television and say, I'm a communist. I'm literally a communist. But if you're a boring milquetoast Boris Johnson voter, the police will rough you up and go around your house 5 times and lock you up in the middle of the night, or do what they did to Jamie Michael and keep you on remand for 17 days while they put the screws on you, trying to get you to cop a plea deal so they can jail you for years for being polite on the internet. It's unbelievable. When you tell the Americans they think you're lying about it, it's that bad in the UK. So suck it up, ladies and gents. You live in a police state, and if you don't think you do, please type some inane commie gibberish in the comments so we can all have a laugh. All right? Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you all tomorrow. Total pip. Cheers.